Hey everybody, Logan here. Uh, Sorry about no content yesterday. Well, depending on when you're watching this, it is going up 12/16, and today is Friday. So there was no content yesterday. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me and watching some of the older stuff. Yesterday was my 4-year wedding anniversary, so I decided to take the day off and spend it with my wife. And we went out, we did some things. We had dinner at the place where we got married, and then we went to Epcot, which, best of all the holidays, was a big bust. There was no good food, but hey, you guys don't care about that. I'm just giving you a reason why there was no content yesterday. No, I did have one short, and only 50 of you were able to see it. Thank you, YouTube, for that. Not like the previous weeks where I had 10, 12, some odd K viewers on my short video. Okay, I'll stop now. Let's get to the article at hand. And the reason I chose this today, I'm like, finally someone has delved into this topic, and I don't have the reach for this, but this comes from Windows Central. So with this being an Xbox topic, it makes sense that I would trust them on their opinion. Now, one thing I didn't do, I just glanced over it, and I didn't read the whole thing because I want to react with it just as you do. So I thought that would be a great way to start it, but like I said, I did glance over it. All right, now let's hit the topic, and that is, why are major third-party games constantly skipping Xbox? That's a lot of things that people talk about, especially like the image shows with Square Enix. How many of them are only going to the Switch or just the PlayStation, or PlayStation and Switch, and just skipping the Xbox in general? And it's not that the Xbox doesn't have content. It's not that they don't have games. They have a lot of games. They have a lot of exclusives that people don't know about, but people are always talking about the AAA ones. And Square is a big company for AAA games. But it's kind of sad. You know, we even had that with a major game, and that was Street Fighter V. Even though it was kind of a flop in terms of Street Fighter games, that didn't come out on Xbox One. It only came out on PlayStation 4. And people were worried that Street Fighter 6 was going to go the same way, but as we see, it isn't. So, for example, the Final Fantasy VII Remake was supposed to be a timed exclusive for the PS4/5 later on, and then come out for PC and Xbox. Well, it looks like it's only coming out on PC. So, even though I covered the fact that 16 might do it, people are questioning it, and it looks like the industry is going the same way. Am I worried about it? Maybe if this was 2 or 3 years ago, when I used to be a huge Xbox fan. I'm not gonna lie about that. I used to be a big Xbox guy, but I really don't like the way the company's going. I don't like their morality. I don't like the way they do business. I don't like Microsoft like I used to. And for those of you who know, I used to work for the company. I'm rambling. Let me shut up. Let's read the article. Xbox has a complicated third-party game problem that will be tough for Microsoft to solve. So like I said, this does come from Windows Central. In the last decade, the video games industry has grown staggeringly. Ain't that the truth? In 2012, video games generated an estimated $63.3 billion in sales worldwide, and current projections predict 2022 will close at a mind-blowing $197 billion. That's nuts. With this increased revenue potential comes amplified investments from prominent industry figures. PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox want bigger slices of the tremendously lucrative pie. It's the big reason why Google tried to jump in and then failed. Amazon's trying to do the same thing with Luna, but when was the last time you heard about Amazon Luna? That was a program that they tried to get me join. They sent me the offer and everything, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get you in, we're going to do this, but you got to pay. So just like everybody else, they're like, oh no, but it's an exclusive offer just for you, but you got to pay. I'm a Prime member, and they made it sound like it was going to be all this free stuff, but I still had to pay. So it was just the same thing for everybody else. And I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I cover this? While these legacy platform holders and passionate fans celebrate the importance of compelling first-party exclusive titles, history demonstrates that many third-party games are the most significant profit drivers year over year. Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, GTA, and other juggernauts frequently dominate the sales charts. When it comes to the undeniable financial workhorses, Microsoft has ensured consistent content. However, there are apparent gaps in the platform's third-party support. And that's something that we've seen in the past with not Microsoft, but that was a Nintendo issue. Now Nintendo doesn't have that problem. The only company that doesn't really put anything out on the Switch is EA in terms of their massive catalog and what they do put out. Very few games come to the Switch, but there was a lot of talks and articles coming up that may change. But it's a little late in the Switch's life, maybe for the Switch 2, Switch Pro, Switchy Switch, whatever you want to call it. Time and time again, we've seen major publishers skip Xbox. Occasionally, this can reasonably be linked to exclusivity deals or limited time publishing agreements. Not to say Microsoft hasn't had those before for their content, but lately it seems to be more on the Nintendo and PlayStation side, especially PlayStation. Unfortunately, there are dozens of examples of global video game releases that come to every platform possible except for Xbox. As Microsoft has proven in recent years, platforms can survive and even thrive without universal backing. Yeah, Nintendo's proven that over Xbox, hands down. Still, it's impossible not to wonder why third-party industry partners, especially those from Asia, opt out of delivering Xbox releases. Why? Before I get into the other ones, this is what we've seen up to this point. It's mainly because there's not a huge Xbox install base in Japan, and those games that seem to be very exclusives or niche titles to Japanese audiences will only find their way to PlayStation and Switch because those are what's big in Japan. But I don't know if they're going to cover that. So, hey, look, why is Xbox third situation relevant? And the author says here, this isn't my first time discussing the shortcomings of third-party support on Xbox. Previously, make sure, is this a dude? Yeah, Miles. All right. So previously, he's detailed Team Green's complicated struggles to maintain growth in the Japanese market and highlighted an unfortunately long list of JRPG franchises not currently available on modern Xbox consoles. For enthusiasts feverishly following industry developments, this isn't exactly breaking news. However, recent rumblings have reignited frustrations from the community once again. You know, I almost bought this phone. I don't know if you guys can see the video. The Surface Duo. I almost bought that. But I decided to, what did I go with? Oh, the iPhone, and then I said, screw the iPhone. I hate the iPhone. I'm sorry for Apple users, but I went back to Samsung. I prefer my Samsung. According to internet sleuths who snapped several screenshots from the ESRB website, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster has been rated for the PS4 and Nintendo Switch. That news released the other day that 1 through 6 are definitely coming to the Switch, and that's what most people want them on. That's what all the big hubbub is about. While the ESRB has seemingly pulled these console listings, the development adds credence to the long-running rumors of console ports for the beloved collection of iconic, JRPGs, but RPGs. PlayStation and Nintendo fans celebrated the idea of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on their favorite platforms, but Xbox players are worried they'll be neglected yet again by a Switch. Okay, what I like to tell people, to keep stuff like this from happening, if you're an Xbox or a PlayStation, main, that's what you buy, have a Nintendo Switch. Switch will always be your best friend when you're not playing your big AAA multi-platforms, because that's where everything's going to go. It's a less expensive. Get a Switch Lite. Get an OG Switch. You don't need to get the OLED if you just want to play these games, because then you can just dock it to your TV for, inexpensive amount of money. It's what, $250 to $300, depending on where you get it and what you're paying, blah, 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 blah. So I always tell people, if you only play PlayStation, you only play Xbox, look into getting a Switch. Currently, console versions of Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster haven't been confirmed by Square Enix, so we can't say definitively whether this rumored release is confidently skipping Xbox. Sadly, disheartened community members don't have monumental optimism, given the inharmonious history of Square Enix titles on Xbox, and that was a little different a number of years ago. This console mission probably wouldn't be worth scrutinizing in an isolated instance. However, the genuine lack of faith and enthusiasm vocalized by Xbox fans on social media following these reports was palpable. Yeah, but all right, it's hard for me to defend Microsoft when I've worked with them. I see what they put their money and their interest in, and now everybody can start seeing it. They care about the third party, the big AAA third party war games, sports games, post-apocalyptic games, action, and stuff that the Japanese like, but Japanese players also love their JRPGs, or over there just RPGs, and it's more niche here, less niche than it used to be, but the people who want those usually know where to find them, and that's their Switch or Xbox. Their Switch or their PlayStation. Why doesn't the media care? For the same reason I'm actually telling you. It's we know where to get this. We've seen it before, and if you want these games, you still have ways to get these games. As tensions climb between Xbox and fans regarding third-party inconsistencies, community members look to investigative journalists for answers. Yeah. With few concrete stories published on what's incontrovertibly happening behind the scenes, certain critics have suggested that the media doesn't care about uncovering the truth. Like many players, I have a laundry list of questions and concerns surrounding video games I love, outright ignoring the Xbox platform. Okay, the media is the last place to go to. Maybe independent journalists like, YouTubers. Yeah, try us. We'll actually report on it. Other guys out there like Spawnwave, RGT85 that bring you news as well. And they have, their stuff is great. A lot of my content is inspired by them, especially RGT. So, yeah, why don't you let us break the news? But honestly, because most people just don't care. The Xbox platform isn't synonymous with Japanese games. It's a Western developed machine, and that's why the media and gamers don't care as much. And if you want this Japanese content, choosing the Xbox has never been the way to go. But hey, let's continue. This video is getting a little long. Throughout 2022, he's reached out to Atlas, Square Enix, Nihon Falcom, Capcom, Xbox, Koei Tecmo, and others for comment on multi-platform releases that aren't available on Xbox consoles. Surprisingly, many publishers didn't respond or merely provided a "we have nothing further to share at this time" message. He's always spoken to numerous industry professionals familiar with the business dynamics of ports and platform viability off the record in hopes of obtaining further insights. Now, one thing we do know is Sony has financed a number of games, but hey, they helped with Listo Protocol, and it's still on the Xbox. But they did put a lot of money into the Final Fantasy VII Remake from what has been reported. And that was one of the big reasons it wasn't going to come. And same thing with Final Fantasy 16, that it may not come, but it's just speculation at this point. He's publicly joked about Legend of Mana, one of his favorite games of all time, overlooking Xbox being the catalyst for his unpending quest for third-party clarity. In his search, he's encountered many passionate industry advocates doing their best to shed some light on the situation. Unfortunately, despite his best efforts and active investigations, we still need definitive answers to provide discouraged Xbox players. So this article is a lot longer than I expected. So let's skip down. Because we are already at the 15-minute mark of this video. So here he goes on to talk about who he's talked to and whatnot, and why these games are all on Switch. I have these all on Switch, and there's really no place else I'd rather play them. I could pick them up on the PlayStation, but I got them on the Switch. So this just encounters a lot of what he's seen. But let's go down to what can Xbox do. Well, what I'll do is, if you want to read the whole thing for yourself, I'm going to drop the link into the description, because this is a very interesting article. So this looks, just glancing at this, kind of makes me think, hey, I had it right the whole time. Xbox's relationship with some major third-party partners is complicated and inconsistent. Microsoft is painfully aware of this. Phil Spencer has previously spoken about the company's need to rebuild trust with Japanese creators. Ad nauseum. We keep hearing it over and over. Come on. Do something about it. To bolster the appeal of the Xbox ecosystem. Additionally, Sarah Bond has publicly declared Square Enix as a vital partner, despite their output on Xbox being one of the most unreliable of the AAA publishers. Yeah, it's like saying, hey, let's do this. It's like Nintendo saying, hey, yeah, EA and Activision are big partners for Nintendo, and they're very important to us. All 5 games that come out, no Call of Duty, no Assassin's Creed, you know, you get the collections and stuff, you get little ones here and there, but they're still important. Yeah, it's what they're gonna say. It's to keep stocks up. It's to save face. You know, despite a relatively rocky past, it's vital to highlight Xbox's reinvigorated efforts to build a better future for third-party developers. We're currently witnessing Xbox deliver on its previous commitments to improve its standings with Japanese creators. It's true. From the noteworthy collaborations with legendary director Hideo Kojima to cleverly positioned Xbox Game Pass drops like Persona 5 Royal and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, Xbox has clearly been putting in some legwork in this market. True. That's no lie there. Ultimately, more than anything, Xbox needs to be consistent. Fact. Messaging and commitments dwindling during the Xbox One generation, which presented opportunities for Nintendo and PlayStation to establish domineering relationships with major publishers and developers in turn. Audiences grew accustomed to playing certain games and franchises on non-Xbox hardware. So to successfully course correct, Xbox must slowly but steadily reestablish itself as a necessary platform for all third-party publishers. Now, after playing certain games so long on PlayStation, i.e. Final Fantasy, will I ever pick it up on Xbox? No. Did I ever? Yeah, 13, but after playing it on multiple discs and having to, see the downgraded cutscenes, and I was like, you know what? Just give me the PS3 version. It feels like all these JRPGs and whatnot, especially Square Enix, as you can see, that's been pretty much the focus. But there's a lot of companies like Atlas as well that don't bring their games to the Xbox. And is it surprising? Not in the slightest. So, hey, I guess this sheds a little light on just proving what a lot of us have already. So, yeah, it is what it is. I don't think this is going to repair itself anytime soon. I don't think we're going to see a boost in Japanese AAA games on the Xbox. I just don't see it happening. And this was something that was even talked about when I worked for the company, that the Japanese market was always a big focus. But nothing has really come to fruition from it. Back in the 360 era, we had the Final Fantasies, we had Blue Dragon, we had Lost Odyssey, we had all those games. Last Remnant, Infinite Undiscovery. We had a slew of JRPGs hit that were console exclusive or first time on Xbox kind of thing. But it's just really dwindled since the Xbox One, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So, with that being said, I'm going to shut up now. We're going to end this long-winded video. Hopefully you guys like it. The majority of you will not have made it to this point in the video, but if you have, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share this video. I'm just going to shut up. We're going to leave it here. Follow us on our socials. Make sure you buy something from our spring shop. That would really help us out, especially for the holidays. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like we always say, subscribe, be legendary. Thanks again.